Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So guys, today we are going to be making plantain bread, and I have some plantain right here they're overripe. I don't really like when they're soft, so I'm not going to throw them away. In the words of Mr. Vibes Cartel, not now, yes, not now, dash way. Alright, so we're going to be making plantain bread. Guys, I am a big lover of plantain. I love plantain for breakfast, lunch, dinner. Give me fried plantain. I love it. Plantain chips, whether the green one or the ripe one, plantain is my favorite. Alright, so like I said, ingredients, we're going to need some ripe plantain. And once you mash these, it should equal to at least 1 cup after you mash it. Okay, we're gonna also need a stick of butter, and I'm using salted butter, so I don't need to add salt to my ingredients. We're gonna use a half a cup of brown sugar. You could do white sugar, you could substitute whatever sugar, whatever your preference is, you could substitute that sugar for. Okay, we're gonna be using 1 teaspoon of clove. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and I have my almond rose water mix right here. I'm going to be using 1 teaspoon. I'm also going to be using 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of vanilla and 3 eggs. Okay, and to that we're also going to be using 2 cups of all-purpose flour. You could use bread flour, wheat flour, whatever your preference is. Again guys, you could switch these ingredients out to whatever your preference is. All right, so guys, let's get started. So I'm gonna get my mixer. I'm gonna mix my butter and sugar together, and then we're gonna start putting these ingredients together. I'm also gonna use that same mixer to help me to mash my banana. My plantain, because I make banana bread a lot, so that's why. Okay, so I'm going to also use something to mash my plantain, and then I'm going to use my mixer to help me to get it smooth, because I don't like when there's lumps in it, because the issue with that too, if you don't store it in the fridge, it tends to spoil really fast, especially if you're in the warm weather or in warm climate. So I'm going to mash it as best as I could to just get it as smooth as possible. All right, okay guys, so let's get started. I'm going to grab my mixer, and then we're going to start with our butter and sugar. Okay, so I'm going to put my ripe plantain in a large bowl where I'm able to mash. So I'm going to use one of these mashers, and I'm going to mash it, and then I'm going to be using my mixer to help me to get it smooth. And you could use a fork. You could actually use your hands to mash it. I'm just going to use this masher that I have here. And then I'm going to use my mixer to mix it to get that smooth consistency that I'm looking for, because like I said before, I don't like chunks, only because it tends to spoil faster when you have the chunks inside of it. All right. Okay guys, so I am going to grab my mixer, and I'm going to use my mixer to help me to smooth this out. Plantain is a little bit dense, more than banana. So even though the plantain is ripe and soft, it's a little bit more dense than banana, so you're gonna have to put some strength into it. All right, so I'm gonna grab my mixer. just the way I want it. Smooth. That smooth consistency that I'm looking for. There's no chunks, there's no lumps, just nice and smooth. Okay, so now guys, I'm going to set this aside, and I am going to cream my butter and sugar, and then we're going to start putting this plantain bread together. So in another bowl, I'm going to add my sugar, which is half a cup. Because the plantain is sweet, I put less sugar, so the bread is not too sweet. But you could taste it while you're doing it to see if you need to add more sugar. But you know, to your taste, to your liking, whether you want to take away some of the sugar, you want to add no sugar, it's up to you. Alright, so let's get our butter. I'm going to cut this in small pieces, put it into my sugar, and I'm using my hand mixer versus the stand mixer because no particular reason, just because didn't feel like going through all of that process to take it down. So guys, I'm gonna continue to mix this until it's nice and fluffy. And then we're gonna start putting our ingredients together to make our banana. I keep saying banana. Our plantain bread. Bloopers. Our sweet plantain bread. Okay guys, so I have my butter and sugar mixture the way I want it. So now I'm gonna add 3 eggs, and I'm gonna be adding the eggs to my butter sugar mix, and I'm just cracking them one at a time, and I'm gonna remove the eye. And then I'm gonna add the eggs one at a time. And I'm going to keep adding my eggs until I add all 3. Removing the eye from each one of them. Okay, so I have my egg, butter, and sugar combined. I'm just gonna add all my wet ingredients together and all my dry ingredients. Just take this aside. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna need that mixer. So now I'm gonna add my butter, sugar, and egg mix to the plantain. And this recipe, guys, is an easy, simple recipe. And we're going to give this a mix. Combine it nicely. And then I'm going to add my vanilla. I'm gonna add my rose water almond, and I'm only adding a teaspoon. And gonna give this a mix, and then we're gonna set it aside, and then I'm gonna put my dry ingredients together, and then combine my wet and dry ingredients together. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside, and this is my flour. I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and like I said, you can use any. Okay, so to my 2 cups of flour, I'm going to be adding the baking powder first. And I'm adding 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And I'm going to be adding a teaspoon of nutmeg. And a teaspoon of clove. Top off. And guys, you can add nuts, raisins, if you'd like. So I'm gonna combine everything together. Just ensure that it's combined properly. And then we're gonna add our wet ingredients to our dry ingredients to our wet ingredients. And move these stuff out the way. And we're gonna bring our wet ingredients. Okay, so we're gonna sift our flour. Here is my cup. Gonna sift our flour, small amount at a time, and just combine. Mix it in very well. And guys, the smell from all the spices, the plantain, the smell from the plantain, everything smells so good. I'm gonna add a little bit more flour. And we're gonna combine. Okay guys, as you can see, my wet ingredients and my dry ingredients is combined to a nice smooth batter, and this is the consistency that you're looking for. So now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to preheat my oven to 325 degrees, and I am going to let this bake for 40 to 50 minutes. After 35 minutes, you can check to see if it's baking. If it's baking, you can use a toothpick to test to see if it's done. So I'm also going to put a pan of water on my bottom rack to put some steam in my oven, and that will prevent my bread from busting or cracking, I should say. Alright, so let's get this bread in the oven. Okay, so I'm going to bake this in a 10-inch loaf pan, and I'm going to go ahead, I am going to grease my pan. I'm going to put most of the grease on the side because I'm putting wax paper in the bottom, and you don't really need grease in the bottom if you're putting the wax paper. But I'm just going to put a little, just lightly, but most of my grease is going to be on the side. Okay, and then I have my wax paper already pre-cut, so I'm going to place it in my pan. Then we're going to add the batter. And this, guys, this smells so good. The spices, the plantain, the flavor from the plantain, and those spices that I added really smells great. And again, guys, you can add raisins, you can add nuts, whatever your preference is. You can add any kind of you can add oats if you'd like. Anything you'd like to add, you can. Okay, so guys, I'm going to, my oven is already preheated. I'm going to pop this in my oven and let this bake for, like I said, 40 to 50 minutes. But at 35 or so, you can check to see if it's coming along. You could use a toothpick or bake until it's golden brown. Okay. I'm gonna put this on and what I'm doing here is I'm airing it out so there's any pockets, air pockets that will fill in the air pockets, so your bread would bake nice and even. Use something else. Okay, perfect. Okay, all right, so in the oven it goes. Okay guys, so after 15 minutes my plantain bread is ready. I'm going to stick a toothpick, and as you can see, I stick it in the center. It's nice and clean, and it cracked a little bit, but not too bad. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it out of the pan, and I'm going to put it on the wire rack to let flip it onto this plate first, and then I'm gonna put it on that wire rack. And to make it cool. And look at that, guys. Nice and cool and round. At the bottom. This. Then now we're gonna put it on this wire rack. See, it's nice and fluffy. Oh my, yes, it's nice and fluffy, and it's perfect. It's not too sweet. It's perfect, guys. Okay, so guys, while I enjoy this sweet plantain bread, if you guys make it, please leave a comment in the comment section to let me know if you make it, how it turned out for you. Again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified. Again, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you on my next video. Peace.